Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. It's a new year, and I'm going to try to do new things myself. One day, maybe focusing on poems as well as my Dharma rant. One day, maybe saying a little song. One day, telling a joke. One day, telling a story. One day, doing a PowerPoint. Keep it moving that way. Keep it creative. So I want to start with, of course, my understanding what I call sensate spirituality. We only know the world through our senses. So appreciate nature, what you see, what you hear, what you smell. When you eat food, it's tasting nature. And of course, the changes on your skin in terms of temperature, the elements, heat and cold, wet or dry, the air or wind moving or not moving, and the earth, the sense of solidity or stability or lack of it. And of course, space itself, the surround, the room that everything exists in. May it influence you, may you delight in it, may you declare how you love it and express it in the way you live, because it's a kind of spirit medicine to be in nature. The reestablishment of your connection with the instinct of life heals a lot. And I hope that you all can find your way of taking pleasure in creation, which includes pleasure in yourself, because you are an act of creation as well. And then that leads you to understanding your emotions, how you feel about everything. Spirit's not interested in your past or what you're doing right now. I feel like I'm the biggest fool if I bother about things and neglect my own spiritual development. So they call it the hour of power. Every day I want to make sure I spend time with that which is the most important thing, is my connection to spirit. Everything else can be postponed or omitted, but not that. I don't have to do it the same time every single day, but I just make everything else secondary to this. If it's true, when we philosophize about omnipresence, that means it's present everywhere, absent nowhere. You don't have to go somewhere else to experience this. And my understanding is that one purpose of life, because there are many purposes in life, is to embody that attitude in what I would call the age of Aquarius, where you're no longer looking outside yourself for the spirit, but that the spirit speaks to each person directly to their heart. And I tried not to grill myself over the mistakes I've made or the things I've done in the past that I'm not proud of, or shame experiences that I've had. What's most important is the direction that I'm headed right now and the rate that I'm moving in. So if that's true, then I realize no one can either put me in or take me away from spirit. It's all up to me, self-responsibility. And so to that extent, I just want to remind myself always, remember, it's all about me, but there's nothing personal in it. What I've learned from my teacher about emotional intelligence and the potential to become skilled and being competent in that. It's like taking primal leadership over myself, knowing what I feel and transmitting it in an appropriate way once I'm adequately connected with it. And it may seem like this is expensive to do this, like to go to therapy or something like that. But believe me, ignorance costs much more. And I want to not have such a wide variety of mood swings, like everything is have a nice day with a smiley face on versus, make my day, punk. I want to bring something to the public forum, even though other things may be unraveling and rotting in our communal or global life. But I have a responsibility to bring something hopeful, something cleansing, purifying in the midst of the crazy neurobiology that tells us there's a harvest of scientific research talking about the importance of positive thinking and cybernetics, programming yourself, your own computer. You're the self-programmer, and then meta-programming, breaking your own boundaries and limits. And so you have to rein in your impulses, take a moment to pause, feel your inner feelings. Otherwise, this can be toxic to your health and the way we behave with each other. You can see how toxic it is when people don't control their impulses and don't know how to communicate what they're feeling. So I don't want to leave this to education or chance. You see what happens? There's disastrous results when people don't focus on these things. So it's good to be passionate as long as it can be guided. Otherwise, your values go awry. So be careful of what I call emotional hijacking by the amygdala, that part of your brain that's in the limbic part that is just always on the search for what could negatively affect you. And to some extent, it has great survival value. But when you're emotionally upset, you can't think straight. And for so many people, they create a life of continual agitation and emergency. And yoga would say you got to leave those things behind. It's to your peril if you indulge in it. And so, although it's true that there's a part of us that sends signals instantaneously faster than we can think because it may save your life, it highlights some options and selectively sifts for other options. But not every moment in your time is something that's life-threatening. So pull back, find out how do you rein in your impulses. And of course, the key is always mindfulness. Just be here now, pay attention to what's going on. All right, my core poem for the day. The core of masculinity does not derive from being male, no friendliness from those who console. Your old grandmother says, maybe you shouldn't go to school today. You look a little pale. Run when you hear that. A father's stern slaps are better. He scolds, but eventually leads you into the open. We've been busy accumulating solace because our bodily soul wants comforting. Send us a tough instructor to hear and act, stay within. Make us afraid of how we were. Make us afraid of how we were.